Link and his allies were saved from the dangers of the Elden Caves by a mysterious youth named Sheik. Joined by their new ally, Impa's troops exited the caves and emerged in Faron Woods. There, they found a hidden village overrun with monsters. While Link and Impa wanted to continue their search for Zelda, they could not ignore the plight of the villagers. Without hesitation, they sprang into battle.
Welcome back to the 100% Legend Mode walkthrough for Hyrule Warriors on the Switch. On this mission, I decide to bring along Link with his newly acquired magic rod to demonstrate it, beyond the bio I gave last part. Let's go ahead and get the item breakdown out of the way. Bring Sheik over here to this dead end by the southeast tree keep and bomb the boulder for the heart container. Capture the north square keep here for Impa's heart piece. First Skulltula pops up after 1,000 KOs, of course, and is found underneath a boulder right here. The second Skulltula pops up here, and requires hard or hero difficulty with Link and his magic rod. I'll get into specifics when the time is right. You can check the description for the timestamp if you just want to skip to it. We have our new item, and it's the bow. This is a nice ranged item that stuns enemies for a second and deals minor damage. Its upgraded form, the light arrows, can clear out a decent amount of mooks in front of you as you shoot multiple arrows that cross each other a distance away from you. That was a big run-on sentence. With the right distance, you can deal decent damage to enemy captains. Something that's long overdue that I should detail about is commanding your other playable characters. On the pause screen, you can select to command your other playable characters to get to certain places. This is a bit less useful than you might think, as the AI for characters not in control is still rather dumb. You can't expect that to have them say, take a keep you direct them to, for example. However, you can get around this by just switching to the character after they arrive at their destination. It's a great way to multitask. Just always keep in mind that if you want something done in this game, you have to do it yourself and can't rely on the AI to do it. "1,000 KOs, so here's the first Skulltula. We now have the Golden Ocarina. This is a new item introduced in the 3DS version. On a map that has owl statues, go up to them and activate them to create a warp point. At that point, use the ocarina and you can choose which statue to warp to. Quite helpful, but not every map has these owl statues, especially in adventure mode, so it's a situational item. Here's the heart container. Bomb this boulder here as she can collect it. Oh, there's a Kuko here. Yeah, don't bother with it. capture this keep here as Impa to get a heart piece. Here's another thing I want to talk about. Elements. What they are and what they do. You've noticed that Sheik uses a lightning element weapon, even though he can use every element with it. Impa uses a water element weapon, and Link now has a light element and fire element weapon. There's more elements than this, but what do these do? Well, I'll tell you. Prepare for a lengthy one since there's no bios I want to cover this time. So, when you select a weapon, it shows the element. This is, well, the weapon's element. It delivers elemental damage, and certain enemies are weak to certain elements, such as fire against Gibdos and Moblins, or water against Lizalfos and Big Pose. It can also work against other character officers like Dark against Link, or Water against Volga. You know, you get the idea. Regardless of the attack used, like say for Sheik's attacks, Sheik will always deal lightning elemental damage because the harp is a lightning weapon. This also affects the recommended element for missions. Using a weapon that matches the recommended element gives a pretty large bonus to power, at least around 30% regardless of the enemy. Along with that, as I mentioned before in the previous video, the recommended element also activates the corresponding elemental defensive badges you have created for the character. So that's all well and good. I'll start to go over elemental weaknesses towards enemies at a later point in time, but now for the secondary part to elements. The elemental effects. Indeed, certain attacks from weapons provide elemental effects, and is not entirely dependent on the weapon's element. You still with me so far? Case in point again is Sheik. Sheik can dish out all kinds of elemental effects depending on the attack used. But let's go and cover those elemental effects. First up is fire. When an enemy is inflicted with the fire effect, they explode upon landing on the ground, which causes some minor splash damage toward other nearby enemies and sends them flying. Water element creates a little water bubble on their head, which causes constant minor damage that also makes them flinch, interrupting their guard or combos. Actually kinda helpful if you want to keep attacking non-stop. Lightning deals added damage to enemies that are juggled in the air, and they glow orange when they're inflicted with this. This is great for weapons or characters that have great juggling power. A number of launching moves deal this effect as well. Light deals additional damage from your attacks on enemies that are inflicted with a whitish-yellow X symbol. Multiple enemies can be inflicted with this, and as such, characters with wide, crowd-sweeping attacks can really benefit from this. You'll know when you'll be able to deal light damage when a certain part of a character's body starts to glow, such as Link's left hand. Darkness also deals additional damage from your attacks on enemies inflicted with this, though this one differs in that it's mostly against single targets. Seemingly no more than one enemy at a time can have this inflicted on them, so those with movesets that can focus on single officers really benefit from this. Finally, items when they're powered up can also deal elemental effects, but I'll mention those later on. I believe that's all about my crash course on elements, so I hope it wasn't too confusing. Again, I'll put up elemental weaknesses for all characters and opponents we've faced thus far at a later time, and gradually introduce them as we meet more. The mission is done, so let's do the second Skulltula. So play on hard or hero difficulty, as Link with the magic rod weapon. Defeat all the keep saboteurs before the Deku Tree Keep is in danger. So be quick! The Skulltula will appear here. You'll need the hook shot again to reach it. With that, this will be the last time I talk for this video, so see you on the next mission.
For generations, Hyruleans have told the tale of the war across the ages. This is how it begins. Deep in the forests, far from mortal eyes, a great sorceress watched over the balance of the Triforce. Through her magic, she could see across ages, able to read the fates of all who lived, but never interfering. That is, until a unique soul caught her attention. The soul of the hero of legend, eternally reborn when Hyrule's need is greatest. Through her powers, the sorceress should have seen that the hero was bound to another. Instead, she saw only a soul that was unlike any she had known. And while the sorceress was preoccupied, a fragment of darkness, locked in its prison, saw an opportunity. The whispering darkness wormed its way into her heart. It pushed the light away and warped her curiosity into a desperate desire to possess the legendary hero's soul. Of course, this evil had its own desires. To use the Triforce to resurrect itself and conquer Hyrule once again. Having pushed the light from her heart, the darkness compelled her to open the Gate of Souls, the doorway of time itself. Monsters from across the ages pour through the gate, bringing ruin to the land of Hyrule once more.